My wife Cheney has this beautiful quirk where she will use aphorisms either inappropriately or just mix up the words to where no one knows what she's trying to say. When we decided to start having kids, she said, should we kill the goalie? And, well, I had no idea what she was talking about when she said that. It's happened every few weeks that she will do something like this, and it is so adorable. We were just on our flight to India. I try to go once a year to visit the ashram, and we left about 2 weeks ago now, and we were there for a week. And it was so funny that at the start of the boarding process, we gave the ticket over, or we gave our boarding pass to the agent, and they checked us both in, and she said, "Bow, chicka, wow, wow." And I think she was just excited that the flight was beginning. Not exactly sure why the music "Bow, chicka, wow, wow" came up. That's usually associated with some type of porno situation. But I guess she was just excited about boarding this flight, excited about the beginning. So many of us can get really excited about the beginning of a new journey. Fast forward about 20 hours later, and she and I both were like, we're almost there. It went from excitement in the beginning to, well, deep into a 26-hour trip. She was exhausted, and it was not that exciting. It felt very mundane. It was boring and exhausting all at the same time. And this is so similar to when we pack our car up with our little kids. And Elle, our 6-year-old, will just start blurting out almost as a cliche from a sitcom, "Are we there yet?" 5 minutes into what she knows is a 2-hour drive. Often we can find ourselves years into a journey of transformation. And maybe even ask ourselves the question a few months in, how long will this take? But rivers do not turn at 90-degree angles. But nothing of significance in nature happens at the drop of a hat. Whether it is as seemingly final as death, or whether it is as meaningful as birth, none of it happens instantaneously. And that is the same for transformation. It starts small, and it can start slow. Slow and slow and slow, and then all of a sudden fast. But whenever we're in that slow part of that slope, you can feel like I should be further along. That thought is a mistake. Because what we're trying to do is shift very strong foundational thought flows that requires both an unwiring and a rewiring. It can take a long, long time. The more powerful the river, the longer it will take. The more powerfully we are involved in the world, the longer it can take. Rivers do not turn at 90-degree angles. But it's all the more sweet when you can turn that river. Turn that powerful mind that you might have towards a higher ideal. And how do we do that? It's bit by bit, piece by piece, daily reflection, followed by daily reflection. Yesterday's episode was on reflection. It's a valuable episode to take in on the fact that we need to reflect on anything we want to learn. It could be an instrument. It's not just learning new, shiny things every day. It's reflecting, refining that which we have already learned over and over and over and over and over and over again until it is the natural flow of things. But is it binary, where it's all or nothing? We're told in the Gita that it is not, that each relative step forward, each tiny movement, even if it's not moving the whole river, is the beginning of a new life. A life that requires just so much less effort, stress, and strain. To where each step towards enlightenment, towards waking up, becomes more pleasurable than the last. Or else what would be the point? No one would pursue this path. And yet, if you're watching this video, if you're attracted to these types of ideals and concepts, then you are well on your way. This very philosophy talks about not being caught up in the outcomes, the results, but just focusing the work at hand. Focusing on what you want to reflect on today. And maybe it's this very concept. Rivers do not turn at 90-degree angles. The more powerful the river, the more investment there might need to be to turn it. But every step along the way, but I can speak from experience, the fact that every step, while it becomes easier and easier, you see this profound philosophy that is also just so practical in our daily lives. Helps so much in the mundane side of things. It helps so much with the meeting you've got in 2 hours. Maybe the conflict you want to resolve with a spouse. Maybe your work has some challenge to overcome later today or tomorrow after listening to this. And this philosophy can make the journey just so pleasurable. The thought of a destination just falls away. And you're 20 hours into that 26-hour flight, filled with such gratitude that you're not thinking, how do I get out of this scenario? No longer asking, are we there yet? That's what this philosophy offers. And that's today's reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Daily Vedantic. This reflection is part of a free repeating 2-year course in Advaita Vedanta. Rooted in the timeless wisdom of the Upanishads, arguably the oldest philosophical texts on earth, you can begin with episode 1, which gives the 15-minute overview of the whole philosophy of Vedanta, or you can join the journey with any episode at any point. But the critical aspect of this course, of understanding and mastering anything, is to study and reflect, even for 10 to 15 minutes on the timeless each day, preferably at the start of your day. As is said in this philosophy, reflection is 100,000 times as powerful as listening. So listen, journal, sit with, discuss these concepts, or ask questions at thedailyvedantic.com with our AI-powered chatbot informed by about 700 episodes here, as regularly as one can if you want to see clarity and peace almost effortlessly unfold in your daily life. And if it doesn't result in a near immediate increase in clarity and peace, then toss aside and feel free to never listen again. One of the things that you might notice is after 7 or 8 days in a row, this doesn't feel like a discipline. This feels like a visit with a best friend to dive into the timeless with daily reflection. Within a few days, it becomes one of your favorite parts of the day. You can also find out more, including news about in-person events in Los Angeles and beyond, at the Daily Vedantic on Instagram or through our weekly newsletter at thedailyvedantic.com. Additionally, check out the links in our show notes for more resources like the books that are mentioned most frequently in the episodes, including Vedanta Treatise, perhaps the simplest and most straightforward read on this philosophy I've ever come across. Until next time, and from the entire team that works on the Daily Vedantic project, thanks for listening.